Good afternoon.
License and registration, sir.
Why'd you pull me over? I wasn't speeding.
We'll talk about that in a second. Can I see your license and registration, please?
Am I being detained?
Yes, sir. You're detained for a traffic violation.
Then tell me what for. I'm not handing anything over till I know.
Sir, keep your hands where we can see
It's for failing to signal a lane change back there. License and registration.
The siren faded as the cruiser slowed to the shoulder. The dash lights flashed against the empty highway, blue and red cutting through the fog. Officer Derek Walsh stepped out, boots crunching gravel. Routine stop. Broken taillight. Nothing special. The driver sat still, hands on the wheel, calm. Too calm. Derek called it in, then approached. The camera on his vest blinked red. Recording. The man rolled down the window halfway and spoke one sentence. Steady. Low. Deliberate. Am I being detained? Something in his tone wasn't defiant. It was certain, like he knew more than Derek did. A minute later, the radio went silent. Dispatch lost his signal. And the footage that surfaced later, unedited, raw, showed a stop that never should have happened and a question that no officer could answer. The night was quiet. No traffic, no headlights for miles. The kind of night that made the hum of the engine sound too loud. Officer Derek Walsh watched the dotted line slip past under the glow of his dashboard. He'd been on patrol for 8 hours straight. Half an hour left on shift. He wanted coffee and silence, nothing else. Then a flash of white broke through the dark. A car ahead drifted over the center line, corrected, then drifted again. Derek's hand reached for the radio. Dispatch, Unit 419. I've got a possible DUI heading east on Route 11. Older model sedan. License plate. He paused as the numbers came into view. Victor 7-2 Delta 14. The voice from dispatch came back faint through static. Copy that, 419. Proceed with caution. He flicked on his lights. The red and blue beams splashed across the sedan's rear window. The driver slowed, then pulled onto the gravel shoulder. No sudden moves. No panic. Smooth. Almost too smooth. Derek parked a few feet back, leaving his headlights trained on the car. Routine procedure. He turned on the bodycam, the small red light blinking alive on his vest. The radio buzzed again. Need backup, 419? Negative, he said. One occupant. Holding position. He opened the door, stepped out into the cool air and adjusted his belt. The road smelled of wet asphalt and exhaust. He approached slow, one hand on the flashlight, the other near his holster. The sedan's engine was still running, low, idle. As he neared, the driver rolled the window halfway down. Derek leaned slightly. Evening, sir. License and registration. The man didn't look at him. His eyes stayed fixed forward. Clean suit, no smell of alcohol. Hands resting neatly on the steering wheel. When he finally spoke, his voice was calm, measured. Am I being detained? The words hit harder than they should have. Derek blinked. Sir, I stopped you for a traffic violation. I'll need to see your license and registration. The man didn't move. Am I being detained? His tone didn't change. Same pitch. Same rhythm. Derek straightened. You're being stopped for safety reasons. Now I'll ask again. License and registration. The man turned his head slowly. His eyes met Derek's, pale, steady, almost emotionless. If I'm not being detained, then I'm free to go. Derek felt something tighten in his chest. He'd dealt with plenty of sovereign citizen types before, people who quoted law videos and refused simple orders, but this felt different. The man wasn't angry. He wasn't defensive. He was certain. Sir, step out of the vehicle, Derek said, voice firm. The man's fingers tightened on the wheel. If you open that door, you'll regret it. Derek took a breath, radio still open on his shoulder. Dispatch, suspect is refusing to comply. Attempting to identify, static answered. The signal dropped. He checked the display. No connection. The signal bar was dead. Dispatch, repeat, he said again. Nothing. He tried his cell next. No service. He looked up. The highway was empty. The only sound was the hum of the cruiser's engine behind him. Sir, turn off the vehicle and step out, Derek said. The man didn't move. His hand reached toward the glove box. Stop! Derek's hand went to his sidearm. The glove box opened. The man took out something small, a folded piece of paper. He handed it through the window without a word. Derek hesitated, then took it. The paper was clean, dry, folded once. He opened it. A single line, written in neat black ink. "Everything you're about to do is already recorded." He looked up fast. The man's face hadn't changed. What's this supposed to mean? The man turned off the engine. The headlights dimmed. "It means you won't remember asking me that." Derek stepped back. "Sir, step out now." The man opened the door, slow, controlled. No sudden movement. He stepped into the headlights. Mid-40s, clean-shaven, dark hair slicked back. His clothes looked pressed, untouched by the humidity. Derek motioned toward the rear of the car. "Hands on the trunk." The man didn't move. "Officer Walsh," he said. The name hit like a spark. Derek hadn't given it. "How do you know my name?" The man smiled faintly. "You told me last time." The tone wasn't mocking. It was matter of fact. "There is no last time," Derek said. "There always is." The man turned, placing both hands on the trunk. Derek moved closer, checking for weapons. None visible. But the man's left wrist bore a faint red mark, like a burn in the shape of a rectangle, about the size of a badge. "What happened to your wrist?" Derek asked. "Same thing that's about to happen to yours." Derek reached for his cuffs. "You're under detention pending identification." The man turned his head slightly, voice still calm. "Say it first." "Say what?" "The question." Derek frowned. "What question?" The man's voice dropped. "Am I being detained?" The words echoed across the empty road, soft but sharp. For a second, the air felt heavier. The dash-cam light flickered. Derek blinked. The road behind him was empty one moment, then filled the next. His cruiser was gone. The red and blue lights vanished. Only the man's car remained, engine silent, headlights off. The bodycam blinked twice, then steady red again. "Still recording. What the hell's going on?" Derek muttered. The man didn't answer. He turned around, leaning against the car. "You said that last time, too." "Last time what?" "When you stopped me. When you thought the badge would protect you from the loop." Derek stepped closer. "Loop?" The man nodded toward the bodycam. "Every time you ask me to step out, it restarts. Every time I say the question, it resets. You can't leave this road until you answer it correctly." "This is insane," Derek snapped. "No," the man said softly. "It's procedure." The sound of wind picked up. Gravel shifted beneath Derek's boots. The highway sign behind him bent slightly, as if gravity had changed. He raised his hand toward his radio again. "Dispatch, do you read me?" The response came instantly. His own voice. "Dispatch, do you read me?" He froze. The echo repeated again, slower this time. "Dispatch, do you read me?" He looked at the man. "What are you doing?" The man smiled. "Not me, you. You already did this. You're watching yourself right now." The road ahead shimmered like heat haze. Another cruiser appeared at the bend, identical to his own. Same license plate. Same light pattern. Derek watched as another version of himself stepped out of that car, hand on his flashlight, walking toward them. The man leaned closer. "Say the question." Derek turned toward the second him. The distance between them shrank fast. His bodycam blinked brighter. "Say it," the man whispered. The other Derek reached for his weapon. "Am I being detained?" The man said again, louder. Everything froze. The headlights flickered once, then cut out. The sound of the engine died. The only light left came from Derek's bodycam. The screen glowed red. Static filled his ears. Then a voice, his own again. Unit 4 to 19. Traffic stop complete. Subject released. The man stepped back into his car, started the engine, and looked at Derek one last time. "You'll remember next time, maybe?" The car pulled away slow, taillights fading into the dark. Derek turned back toward the road. His cruiser was back where it should have been, lights flashing, engine running. The radio crackled. Unit 4 to 19, status check. "Do you need backup?" He took a deep breath. "Negative." Subject released. He looked down at his wrist. A faint red rectangle burned into the skin. The bodycam blinked once, twice, then went black, and somewhere deep in the system, the footage uploaded by itself. The file name read, "Traffic, stop, 4:19. Repeat idona so to 7. The server log showed 6 previous versions, each identical, each ending with the same question. The briefing room smelled like burnt coffee and wet uniforms. Officer Derek Walsh sat near the back, elbows on the table, eyes on the muted television bolted to the wall. The morning news scrolled headlines across the bottom: accidents, weather, politics, but he didn't read them. His mind was still on the road. Route 11, the man in the sedan. The voice. Captain Ruiz stood near the front, flipping through a folder thick with reports. "Walsh, you with us?" Derek blinked, nodding once. "Yeah, sorry, long night." Ruiz tossed the folder onto the table in front of him. "You filed your stop report incomplete. No license number, no registration info, no written warning. You sure you made a stop at all?" Derek stared at the folder. "It happened. The footage is in the system." Ruiz crossed his arms. "Then explain why it uploaded at 3:14 a.m., 2 hours after you clocked out. And why the timestamp shows the year as 2023. Derek frowned. "That's impossible." "It's 2025. Exactly." Ruiz tapped the table. "The system doesn't lie. But I've got a file labeled Traffic Stop 4:19 Repeat 07 sitting in the archive, timestamped 2 years back. You tell me how that happens." Derek rubbed his eyes. "Could be a glitch." "Could be," Ruiz said. "But there's something else." He grabbed a remote, pressed play on the television. The screen flickered, showing the start of the footage. Derek's cruiser pulling onto the shoulder, lights flashing. The audio came through faint but clear. "Evening, sir. License and registration." The man's voice followed. "Am I being detained?" Derek felt his chest tighten. "Now watch this," Ruiz said, fast-forwarding. The clip repeated the same 30 seconds 3 times. Identical. Every tone, every inflection, every blink of light the same. The same moment looping endlessly until the feed cut to black. Ruiz turned. "We've had techs analyze it. No edits, no compression errors. This isn't a system glitch. It's perfect repetition." Derek didn't answer. He couldn't look away from the screen. Ruiz leaned forward. "You know the guy?" "No. You sure?" Derek nodded. "I've never seen him before." Ruiz studied him for a long moment. "Take the day off. Get some sleep. We'll review this again tomorrow." Derek stood, every movement slow. "Yes, sir." He left the station without another word. Outside, the air was heavy with the smell of rain. The sun hadn't burned through the clouds yet. He walked to his cruiser, parked under the same light he'd parked beneath every morning for 5 years. The same oil stains marked the pavement. But something was different. The license plate on his cruiser wasn't the same. The last 2 digits were off. He crouched to look closer. The plate read 4:17-7 instead of 4:17-9. He checked the tag. Fresh paint. Brand new. He stood, staring at it, pulse in his throat. He unlocked the door, slid inside, and turned on the dash cam. The feed flickered once, then loaded the most recent recording. But it wasn't blank. It started where last night's body cam had ended. The man's car pulling away. "Impossible," Derek whispered. He hadn't synced the body cam to the cruiser feed yet. On screen, his own voice spoke, negative. Subject released, then another voice layered beneath it. The same calm tone as before. "Next time, say it first." Derek froze. He checked the playback ID. Traffic, stop, 4:19, repeat, 08. He hadn't uploaded that file. He slammed the laptop shut and started the engine. Gravel spat under the tires as he pulled out of the lot. He didn't know where he was going, only that the road ahead felt heavier than usual. The voice stayed in his head. "Say it first." He drove for an hour before realizing he was back on Route 11. The same stretch of road. The same faint fog. The same bend near mile marker 67. He slowed the cruiser, staring at the shoulder where the stop had happened. The gravel looked untouched, but his mind painted over it. The headlights, the man, the words. He parked, stepped out, and walked toward the ditch. The air buzzed faintly. Not sound, vibration. Like a low hum inside his skull. He reached the edge of the road. Something silver caught the light near the grass. He knelt and brushed away the dirt. It was a badge. His badge. Same number, same scratches on the edge. But his badge was still clipped to his vest. He held them side by side. Identical. Every mark the same. He turned it over. The back was engraved with one line. You stopped him 8 times. Derek dropped it. A car horn blared. He spun around. A black sedan sat idling a few feet away. Same make, same model. The window rolled down. The same man sat behind the wheel, expression calm. "Officer Walsh," the man said. Derek drew his gun. "Get out of the car." The man smiled faintly. "You shouldn't have come back." I said, "Get out." The man turned off the engine, stepped out slow. "You keep saying that." Derek kept his weapon trained on him. "Hands where I can see them." "You think this is the first time you've drawn that weapon?" the man asked. "Look around." Derek hesitated. Behind the man, the road shimmered again. 2 more cruisers appeared in the distance. Then 3, then 4. Each parked at the same angle, lights off, silent. He blinked. The drivers of those cruisers were all him. Same uniform. Same stance. Each one raised their gun. Derek backed up. "What is this?" The man stepped closer. "Procedure. You enforce what you don't understand. Every stop, every command, every question. You think you choose, but the badge does. Stop moving." Derek shouted. The man stopped, calm, then answered the question. "Right now." "What question?" "You know it," Derek's radio crackled. His own voice came through, distorted. "Am I being detained?" He froze. The man tilted his head. "Your turn." The cruisers behind them flickered, headlights flashing once in sync. Derek lowered his weapon slowly. "You're free to go." The man nodded once, eyes steady. "Good." Then everything went white. The sound of tires screeching, metal crunching, glass shattering. Derek hit the ground hard, air knocked from his lungs. When his vision cleared, the sedan was gone. His cruiser was crumpled against a tree. Steam rose from the hood. His radio blinked red, repeating the same static message. "Traffic. Stop. 419. Repeat 009. Uploaded." Derek stared at it, chest heaving. The air was silent again. He turned off the camera, but the red light didn't stop blinking. The voice returned, faint through the static. "You said it wrong." And the sound of another engine came from behind him, a car pulling onto the shoulder. Same model. Same driver. Same night. The loop hadn't broken, not yet. The hospital room was small, dim, and sterile. Officer Derek Walsh sat on the edge of the bed, still in uniform. The nurses had asked him 3 times if he wanted to change, but he hadn't moved. His left wrist ached under the bandage. The faint red rectangle, the burn, throbbed beneath the gauze. He stared at the television mounted in the corner. No sound, just the local news playing traffic footage from Route 11. The anchor's mouth moved silently. The headline at the bottom read, "Bodycam footage from Officer Walsh's traffic stop released by department." His breath caught. He hadn't authorized that. He picked up the remote, turned up the volume. The reporter's voice came through flat and calm. "The department has confirmed that the recording, titled Traffic Stop for Day 19 Repeat U9, was automatically uploaded to the system late last night. Officials say the footage shows no evidence of misconduct but ends abruptly before the suspect's departure." The screen showed the video. Him stepping toward the sedan. Light rain falling, the man behind the wheel asking the same words. "Am I being detained?" But this time, the clip didn't end. The footage kept going. It showed Derek's cruiser slamming into the tree, then cutting to him standing in the middle of the road. No car, no suspect, no headlights. Just him, alone, breathing heavy. Then the words appeared at the bottom of the footage like subtitles. "Loop in progress. Awaiting next sequence," the news anchor's voice faltered. "Authorities say they're working with state tech teams to—" Derek turned off the television. The room went silent except for the faint hum of fluorescent lights. He leaned forward, elbows on knees, trying to steady his breathing. The loop wasn't a dream. It wasn't a glitch. It was real. And it had gone public. The door opened. Captain Ruiz stepped in holding a folder. "You look like hell." Derek didn't respond. Ruiz sat down across from him. "You're lucky to be alive. They found your cruiser half a mile off Route 11. No other vehicle in sight. You want to tell me what happened?" Derek looked at him. He was there again. "Who?" "The man from the stop." Ruiz sighed, flipping open the folder. "We ran the plate, Walsh. It doesn't exist. The VINA number doesn't match any registry in the state. Whatever you saw, whatever you think you saw, it's not on record." Derek shook his head. "He's real. He knows my name, my route, my schedule. He's inside the system. He's inside the recordings." Ruiz's expression shifted, the line between disbelief and concern. "Inside the recordings? Every file has my voice, even the ones I never made, and the timestamp keeps moving backward. Each upload older than the last." Ruiz stood. "You need rest. You've been through a trauma. I'll have you evaluated before—" "No." Derek's tone snapped sharp. "If you review those files, you'll see what I'm talking about." Ruiz hesitated, then nodded slowly. "Fine, we'll check the servers. But you don't leave this hospital until I clear it." When Ruiz left, Derek stood and moved to the window. The city looked small under the gray morning light. For a moment he saw movement across the parking lot. A black sedan pulling in, same make, same model. His pulse spiked. He blinked, and it was gone. He turned from the window, grabbed his vest from the chair, and pulled it on. The bodycam still hung on the front. He pressed the power button. It blinked once. Then the speaker crackled. A voice came through, his own. "Unit 419, status check." Then the calm male voice followed. "Say it first." The air in the room went cold. He pressed the power button again. The red light stayed on. "Say it first," the voice repeated. He yanked the camera off the vest and threw it onto the floor. It hit the tile, still blinking. The screen on the small device lit up with a timestamp. But not today's date. The date read OCT 29, 2023, the exact same time. The exact same second he stepped closer. The screen showed live footage, his own room, from an angle behind him. He turned fast. No one there. The feed followed his movement. It was recording him in real time, from somewhere that didn't exist. He grabbed the device, ripped the battery out. The light died. The silence that followed felt thick. Then his phone buzzed on the table. Unknown number. He picked it up. The voice on the line was the same calm tone from the road. "You said it wrong again. Who are you?" Derek demanded. "Doesn't matter. You made the stop. You started it. The badge records the oath. You don't end it until you answer." "What oath?" "The one you broke." The call ended. He dropped the phone, hands shaking. His wrist burned again. He peeled back the bandage. The red mark had spread up his arm, forming clean, straight edges like circuitry. He stumbled to the sink, ran cold water over it. The pattern didn't fade. A voice came from behind him. Soft, identical to his own. "You shouldn't have ignored procedure." He spun around. He stood face to face with himself. The double wore a clean uniform. Badge polished, face expressionless. "You don't belong in this iteration," the double said. "What are you?" Derek whispered. "The one who followed orders." The double reached out, pressing a hand against Derek's shoulder. "You reset the stop before authorization. You broke the sequence. Now you loop until compliance. Compliance with what?" "Protocol." The room flickered like bad film stock. The walls stretched, warped, turned gray. The floor became the highway shoulder. The smell of rain filled the air. He was back on Route 11. The sedan waited. The man sat behind the wheel, window half down, same calm expression. "Evening, officer," he said. Derek's pulse raced. "No, not again." He drew his weapon. "I'm not doing this again." The man smiled faintly. "Then say it first." Derek gritted his teeth. "Am I being detained?" The man's smile faded. He nodded once. Finally, the sky flickered white. The road shook beneath them. The sound of metal twisting filled the air. Derek dropped to one knee, gripping his head as 100 voices echoed through his mind. All versions of himself, all saying the same thing at once. Unit 4-19. Subject released. then silence. He looked up. The man and the car were gone. The road was empty. His radio clicked. Unit 419, report location. Derek pressed the button. Route 11, traffic stop complete. Copy that, the dispatcher said. He looked at his wrist. The mark was gone. Only clean skin remained. He turned toward his cruiser. The headlights flicked once, then steadied. He got inside, exhaling for the first time in hours. On the passenger seat sat his badge. He picked it up and turned it over. New engraving. Loop closed. He looked into the rearview mirror. For a split second, another him stared back, expression blank, eyes steady. Then it was gone. He started the engine. The radio crackled again. Unit 4-19, new call, suspicious vehicle, Route 11, eastbound shoulder. His hand froze on the wheel. He looked up. Through the windshield, faint red and blue lights flickered in the distance. The loop wasn't over, not yet. The red and blue lights shimmered in the fog like distant beacons. Officer Derek Walsh sat behind the wheel, engine idling, radio still crackling with the dispatch call. His fingers drummed the steering wheel once, twice before he shut the radio off completely. No more noise. No more loops. The road ahead was silent, stretching in both directions, endless. He'd been here before. Same cracked shoulder, same faded sign warning about deer crossings, same patch of mud near the ditch. Every stop had ended here. Every version of himself had bled into this stretch of asphalt like it was home. He stepped out of the cruiser. The cold air carried no sound. The bodycam light blinked red once more. It had turned itself on. He didn't touch it. The fog thickened as he walked forward, boots crunching gravel, his flashlight beam slicing through the mist. There, a silhouette, mid-size sedan, engine off, lights dead. The same car as before. The same place. He approached slow. His reflection shimmered faintly in the glass. "Evening, officer," the voice came before he reached the driver's side. Calm. Familiar. He stopped 2 feet away. "You again." The man behind the wheel smiled faintly. "You said the words last time. That should have ended it. Then why am I still here?" "Because you don't believe them." Derek's jaw tightened. "Believe what?" "That the badge doesn't free you. It binds you." The man opened the door and stepped out. His clothes were clean again. No rain, no dirt. No time seemed to touch him. He stopped a few feet away, looking directly into Derek's eyes. "Every stop you've made here was an interrogation. But not of me." Derek's grip on his flashlight tightened. "Then of who?" The man pointed at his chest. "Of you." The fog rippled around them like water disturbed. Shapes formed in the mist. Other versions of Derek stepping out of cruisers, each frozen mid-motion. Some reaching for weapons, others standing still, all wearing the same badge. The man began to walk toward them. Every stop is recorded. Every recording loops until the officer remembers why he stopped the car in the first place. Derek followed, scanning the faces. Each reflection of him stared back, unblinking. "Why me?" he asked. "Because you forgot the truth about the question. Am I being detained?" The man nodded. "It isn't defiance. It's a reminder. Authority must answer. Silence is violation. You never answered. You never released them. You kept them all here, every driver, every stop, trapped in your footage." Derek felt the weight of the words. "That's not possible." "It's recorded," the man said. "That's all it ever takes." The fog grew darker. The shapes of the other Dereks started to flicker, one by one. The air vibrated with static. The sound of dozens of radios came alive at once, each one replaying old calls, the same phrases repeated endlessly. Traffic stop complete. Subject released. Repeat file uploaded. Derek's hands trembled. "What happens if I end it?" "You already tried," the man said. "Every version of you did. But you never said the second line." "What second line?" The man looked at him, eyes steady. "After the question, there's an answer." Derek took a step closer. "Tell me." The man leaned forward. "You know it." The words triggered something deep in Derek's mind. An echo of academy drills, Miranda scripts, rote memory turned reflex. He closed his eyes and spoke quietly. "You're free to go." The fog rippled hard, like sound exploding without noise. The road beneath them split, the air shaking, the shapes of the other derricks dissolving into light. The man smiled. Finally, then the sedan behind them vanished. The radios went silent. Derek stood alone in the middle of Route 11. No lights. No sirens, only the faint chirp of crickets somewhere beyond the trees. He looked down. His badge lay in the dirt. No reflection, no engraving. Just dull metal. He picked it up and clipped it back onto his vest. The red light of the bodycam blinked 3 times, then turned green. Recording ended. He walked back to his cruiser. The door creaked open. The dashboard clock read 12 a.m. exactly. The radio clicked once. Unit 4-19, dispatch said. Be advised your last call is cleared. No pending cases. Return to base, Derek exhaled, steady. Copy that. He pulled onto the highway. The road stretched empty under the pale light. After 5 miles, the radio crackled again. New call 419, possible stranded motorist. Route 11, eastbound shoulder. He froze. The road ahead glowed faintly red through the fog. Another car, another set of lights. He slowed, every part of him tight. His hand hovered over the radio switch. The voice of the man came faintly through the static. Say it first. He shut the radio off. The fog thinned, revealing the shape of the sedan again. Same car, same angle, same silence. Derek sat still. He didn't step out this time. He reached down, unclipped the badge, and placed it on the passenger seat. Then he spoke softly. Not to the man, not to dispatch, but to the camera, still blinking red. Am I being detained? The red light blinked once more, then stopped. The fog cleared completely. The sedan was gone. The night stayed silent. He drove back toward town. When he pulled into the station lot, dawn had started to gray the sky. He parked, stepped out, and walked to the door without looking back. Inside, the lights flickered awake. A new recruit sat at the front desk, young, clean-cut, eyes half awake. "Morning, Officer Walsh," the recruit said. "You heading home?" Derek nodded. "Yeah, long night." The recruit smiled faintly. "Oh, before you go, Captain left something for you." He handed over a small envelope. Derek opened it. Inside was a folded sheet of paper. One line written neatly in black ink. "Everything you're about to do is already recorded." He looked up, but the recruit was gone. Only the empty station greeted him. The clock on the wall read 11:59 p.m. The second hand didn't move. The faint hum of a recording. Light blinked red above the entrance camera. He stood still. The sound of his own voice came through the speakers. Soft, steady, calm. "Evening, sir. License and registration." And somewhere out on Route 11, the loop restarted. The screen faded to black. The footage you've just heard was recovered from a department server flagged for corruption. Officer Walsh's badge and bodycam were found 6 miles apart. The file still re-uploads every night at midnight. If you want to understand what really happens when procedure breaks itself, download the free guide pinned in the description. Inside the camera, how the badge records more than you see.